According to Kyren Williams' coach, reporters were told that Kyren Williams is more explosive and he looks great, he looks fast, he looks clean, and yet we hear little birdies around the industry often whisper that Kyren Williams doesn't have good explosives. His data is bad. He's not an explosive guy. He's not going to get you the big plays, and that the doubt continues for a reason. Well, I'm here to tell you that Kyren Williams is not only a top 5 potential running back, he could be the number 1 overall running back during any given season. He is a very explosive player. This is a guy that's ripping off good yards per carry before last year. Last year, he was down wide receivers. Last year, his offensive line was injured. And everybody keeps talking about how he's going to be replaced. Remember the kick returns, the punt return, little fiasco, punt return gate? Remember that? Well, I've got news for you. You Kyren haters are going to be in the shadows again, scattering like cockroaches like you did last year and the year before. His coach says he looks pretty damn explosive. My footage of him every single offseason when I throw the videos of Kyren. Let me see if I can even find the Kyren Williams footage right now. Kyren always looks magnificent running the ball. He looks quick. He looks agile. He looks explosive. Yet every year people complain about him. People say, oh, Kyren's not explosive, Smitty. He's going to absolutely be replaced by Blake Corum. Oh, now it's Jarquez Hunter. I love Jarquez Hunter. A must cuff. But Kyren Williams, get this through your thick skull. He's a 1 to 5 potential running back. And Bijan, we got Bijan news as well. Marvin Mims news. And then we'll talk more about Tampa Bay's offensive line situation. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Trying to find that Kyren Williams clip on my IG that I put up not too long ago. Kyren looks so damn good. I mean, he's such a meticulous, hardworking runner that's just out there putting in the grind and putting in the footwork drills. Let me see if I can even go to his page and find it, because for some reason I post so much content I can't even locate it. He's out there. Here's just some footage of him at the gym, just putting in the work. The guy looks ripped. He's cut. He's as lean as can be, and his ability to navigate space and make plays happen is crazy. And all these people running their mouth about Kyren Williams from a negative perspective, you don't even know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. Kyren Williams was 80% of the between the 10 inside the 10 carry workload. It was 80% his. 80% of all the carries inside the 10-yard line. This guy's unbelievable. Now, this was last year's board. I know I have Kyren Williams' board somewhere. I thought that was going to pull up too. Looks like my system is glitching a little bit today. But Kyren Williams walks into this season, in my opinion, prepped to get back to what he was doing the year prior. This offensive line is a top 10 offensive line. It's considered the heaviest or one of the heaviest offensive lines in the National Football League. There's a lot of weight behind it. You also last year had Kyren Williams running up against 8-man front after 8-man front as they stacked the boxes against him because they didn't have Cooper Kupp. Puka Nacua was injured. Now they got Devontae Adams and Puka firing on all cylinders, stretching the defense out. And now you're worried about Kyren Williams finding room to run. His explosives won't be there. Now, I admit he's got to hold on to the ball. That's really the only negative with Kyren Williams. But he's also about to get paid. And that security in big payment will make sure that a fumble doesn't take his job away. He's not going to lose his job over a fumble. He's about to get paid. The last word on Kyren Williams' extension was they were getting closer. They were starting to finalize some things. They were getting on the same page. This is not something where they're far apart. And also keep in mind that Kyren Williams can't afford to not fold and take whatever the highest offer is at the end of the day. because this is an RB that's maybe knocking on the door of his last big opportunity to sign for big money. There's no way he's punting it into next year and betting on himself because he gets so much work. You can't bet on yourself. Not when you're an RB like Kyren, that was a late draft capital player that has an opportunity, probably his last one, to get big bag, big bank. He's not going to punt it and try and potentially leave it on in the hands of health and being injury free and not facing some sort of unforeseen consequence of that. He is going to lock down his money. He's going to get paid. And mark my words, the minute he gets his new contract, it's going to be game over for stealing him at 3.6, 3.7, 3.8. He is going to climb all the way to the 2-3 turn. A lot of people will start getting more comfortable drafting Kyren a little early as their first drafted running back in a wide receiver running back build from rounds 1 and 2. And they'll say, I'll take Kyren at the 20, 22, 23 overall pick. This is a player we can now, right now, in this moment, go on Underdog. We'll do it tonight. And smash Kyren Williams' third-round ADP into oblivion. If you don't have an opportunity to do that now, do it tonight. Join us. The link just got dropped in the live chat. I'll pin the link in the live chat right this very second. We will be drafting Kyren Williams tonight in some way, shape, or form. You have it on your docket, on your plan of attack for today, tomorrow, the next day, until Kyren Williams gets his extension. It is your homework assignment to get in there on Underdog and smash Kyren Williams ADP before it goes away, before it starts costing you even still a good deal, but nothing in the same realm as it stands right now. This is win a league Kyren Williams. 3.5 is ridiculous. How in the hell is this guy middle of the third round? He could be the running back 1. He could be the number 1 overall scorer at the running back position. I'm not saying he has to be. I'm not locking him in. I'm not saying expect that. I'm just telling you that the way this guy scores touchdowns, he could easily be the number 1 overall running back in 2025. You can hate it all you want, but the people that hate Kyren Williams hate Devon Achane. The people that hate Kyren Williams hate Devon Achane. They also hate Travis Hunter. They also hate other players like Patrick Mahomes. They doubt players like Rashee Rice. They doubt other players in the same realm. This is a running back, Kyren Williams. Let me put his career stats on screen because they're just marvelous. And the fact that people think he can't even improve in the touchdown department is laughable to me, or in the receiving department is laughable to me. And he can improve in the touchdown department. He can improve on all facets of his game. He can improve on all levels. Here's Kyren Williams's career game log, stat line, career stats: 14, 44, 12 touchdowns, 12, 99, 14 touchdowns. Look at those receiving numbers. Still very, very solid. No one's saying that we don't want more than 40 or 48 targets. No one's saying we don't want more than 34 or 32 receptions. Those targets and reception ratio is pretty solid, though. This is a monster. This is a guy that, hold on, let me pull up some more data on Kyren real quickly. This is a guy that scored 26 touchdowns on the ground in a sum total of 2 years. 14 TDs in 2024, 12 TDs in 2023. It's unbelievable. And then when you look at this right here, Prime, unfortunately you're misled. I hate to break it to you. This is what you've been hearing probably from someone else. The 4.1 is unacceptable, Smitty, but he's not explosive anymore. I heard he's not explosive anymore. The man was facing 8-man fronts with Puka down, no Cooper Kupp. They were running. That's the only weapon they had, and Kyren still delivered 14 touchdowns on the ground, Prime. It has nothing to do with Kyren Williams. His 4.1 yards per carry were on the freaking situation, not even the line necessarily. It was on the situation. It was on not only the injuries to the offensive line, but on the injury to Puka, on the injury to Cooper Kupp. The fact that you're going to have Adams and Puka stretching the defense and a healthy offensive line. When someone says Kyren Williams, I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is that comes on my show or says it in my live chat. When someone says Kyren Williams is not explosive, I question their ability to understand football. I question their understanding in terms of looking at data, because this man averaged 5 yards per carry in 2023. This man scored 12 touchdowns on the ground in 12 games. Look at this line right here. I don't know how more clear I can be to the doubting Donnie in the building. This man played 12 games and rushed for 1144, 5 yards per carry, 12 rushing touchdowns in 12 games. Yet he's not explosive. Yet he can't create plays. And for anybody that complains about this 4.1, he was down everything. He was the entire offense, and he still got it done, scoring 14 touchdowns on the ground, 2 receiving, 16 total scores. Unbelievable. I love when someone questions Kyren Williams. I love when people say ridiculous, I don't know ball comments like, he's not explosive. According to the explosive data, Smitty, the explosive data says that Kyren Williams can't be explosive. It says it on the explosive data. Who told you about this? Well, I mean, I came up with it myself. Breaking news, there's no explosives data for Kyren Williams. The server went down and all of his data got lost. Therefore, he's not explosive. We've come to that conclusion here on the blah, blah, blah show. I'll tell you what, bro. 5 yards per carry, 12 TDs on the ground in 12 games. That's all I need to know. Offensive line, healthy. But what do you want from the guy? What do you want from the guy? He is the biggest steal in round 3, period. This is why he is once again a Jupiter man.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so
All right,
large. Every planet.
The Saturn men.
Maybe he needs to be a
small
Jupiter.
step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Spaceman. He's Kyren. He's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren. He can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Tell me you don't know ball. Tell me you don't know ball by saying Kyren Williams, he's not top. He's not a top 5 running back, Freddy. He's just not a top 5 running. Tell me you don't know ball. Tell me you don't know ball. Say it. Say it. Kyren Williams is not a top 5 running back, Freddy. Tell me. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't know what it is more than anything of double down Donnie type behavior. You said bad things about him so long, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it over and over and over. I talk crap about Kyren all day long, so I got to continue on the course. Kyren can't be a top 5 running back. He just can't be. He can't be a top 5 running back. There's no way he can be. I heard it over here. I'm going to repeat it over here, and I've doubled down over here. So I'm going to continue to double down and shovel this onto this pile of junk over here because it's all I know to do. What more do you want from a player? What more can he do? 12 TDs during this season right here in 2023. 12 plus 3 is 15 for those of you keeping track. 2024, 14 plus 12 is 16. 15 and 16 is 31. I mean, what are we doing? 31 touchdowns in 2 seasons. What are we doing? Why is he sitting in round 3? Not the top, but the middle of round 3, sometimes the middle to late round 3. What are we doing? What is the general fantasy football population doing right now is the question I'm asking. I'm genuinely curious what people are doing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. You want to call in and argue anti-Kyren? By all means, the phone lines are not open. except for anti-Kyren callers, which we probably will have zero.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
We'll probably have zero because I already know their script that they're coming over with. I already know what they're going to say. He's not explosive. And McVay drafted another running back. That's my script. Kyren, what's he got to do? 31 touchdowns in 2 years? What's he got to do? 30 plus receptions. He's going to get that. They're going to probably throw to him a little more this year as they have everything healthy and functioning properly. Let's say he only gets 38 receptions. Who cares? He's getting 2 to 3 receiving touchdowns per year. Are you complaining? Tell me you don't know ball. Tell me you don't know ball. I'll be waiting. BBQ coming in straight with the $100 fire. Unbelievable, BBQ. $5 hauler says, I'll buy the dip. ADP Rams line went from good to awful. Now they have Puka Adams. Line is healthy. Kyren going to ball out. I 100% agree with that. And then BBQ, whatever he says here has got to be good. $100 hauler from BBQ. Smash and fire right here.
Smitty, everybody's pretty. I don't even know why they're getting.
Then BBQ says, caught the end of the show, earlier show, Mahomes finishes top 3. O-line was the biggest problem last year. Left tackle was a turnstile, and PM was running for his life. Pat Mahomes is running for his life. Line fixed, Rice, Worthy, Kelsey, Brown, guys selling hot dogs, Reed calling plays, and throwing 30 to 35 times per game. Round 6 all day. Look, BBQ, it's wild to me. People that hate Kyren hate Mahomes. People that hate Mahomes hate Achane. It's a triangle. Mahomes, Kyren, Achane. Mahomes, Kyren, Achane. Oh, wait. Now it's a diamond. Mahomes, Kyren, Harvey, Achane. Mahomes, Kyren, Harvey, Achane. Oh, wait. Hunter, Mahomes, Kyren, Harvey, Hunter. Wait, who are we adding now? Let's make it an octagon. Who else is very, very much the type of player that you're gonna hate on? Probably I would say Bucky, Mahomes, Kyren, Achane, Hunter, Harvey. Bucky, Mahomes. It's just a big circle of nonsense. This man right here, ladies and gentlemen, look at him. Look at him good. Bijan Robinson said that the Falcons have an outlandish goal for the team's rushing production in 2025. And his quarterback went on to say this beautiful statement here. As many times as we can get the ball in his hands, speaking about Bijan, we're going to do it. This is going to be a year where, and I put this up on my Instagram, please follow me on IG at the Fantasy Football Show. But this is one of those things where, look, your eyeballs have to do some of the work. You can't just rely on data in Excel sheets, Eric. Sometimes you got to look at stuff like this. Look at this man right here. Look at how Bijan is standing there with pythons attached to his shoulders. And him and McCaffrey are sitting there. Bijan's barely flexing. It's on my Instagram. Go check it out. Bijan's barely flexing. He's barely flexing. And the amount of mass sitting on top of his arm, it looks like a bowling ball. And the size of him over Christian McCaffrey, even though McCaffrey looks really fit and big, you can barely see Luke McCaffrey there. He's almost looks like a metal rod just sitting next to him, like in the way, almost like a curtain. He looks like part of the curtains. Oh, that's the third guy. That's Luke McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey looks pretty big. He looks swole, and Bijan looks like Santa Claus with the child on his knee. And Bijan's just sitting there like this, and it looked like the guy snapped the photo before Bijan had even tried to flex, and his muscles like limp and like hanging down, and it looks like the size of a bowling ball. He hasn't even contracted yet. He hasn't even flexed down yet. And he looks like he's going to tear into the league this year. Just annihilate everybody. This is the prototypical running back. The 6 foot, the 215-pound guy, the LaDainian Tomlinson frame. This is that guy. This is the prototypical workhorse running back. The closest thing we have to replacing Saquon Barkley. This is not Gibbs. This is not Achane. We love those guys as well. We love Bucky Irving. This is the prototypical 300, 325 carry running back. We don't want him past the 371 carry curse, but you want to feed him 320? Feed the man 320. Feed him good.
Let him cook.
And if you give him 320 carries at what I'm going to say is 4.7 a pop. 4.7. I mean, he could average 5 yards per carry. He easily could. 4.7 a pop times 320. Let's call it 320. That's 1504.
Let him cook.
Give him give him 4 multiple touchdown games, one of which will be 3 TDs. One of which will be 3 TDs. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 TDs alone in 3 of his contests. So now he's got 4.7 a carry, 1,504 yards, and 7 touchdowns alone in 3 games in 2025.
Let him cook.
Bijan card has been revoked.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special message from the Bruce's mother.
Get Bijan.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.
More carries than he can handle, music to our ears. And remember, like, the Arthur Smith year where we got abused. We got used and abused. We got absolutely pushed into the dirt, face plant. I wear the scarlet B on my chest for if I'm going to be a highest on Bijan, and I was the highest on Bijan on this planet Earth. The content creator, nobody was higher on Bijan than I was, than this channel was. If we're going to claim that and we're going to take that, right, we got to take the L. I'm not saying that being running back 9 his rookie year was necessarily a big fat L, because, you know, you draft him at 6, 7 overall. He finishes his RB9. You didn't lose a league off that. You still should have won a league. A lot of people still won a league. They just kind of crawled to the win instead of dominating to the win. But I take the L on that because I said as a rookie he would do what he's doing now. But what a comeback. This reminds me a lot of the Chase Brown hype and delay. Chase Brown going to the moon. Everybody's gonna wish that they had been on this train, right? Been on this train. Chase Brown starts off horribly. The way Bijan started off was similar to how Chase Brown kind of started off last year. People said, Smitty, you're wrong on Chase Brown. Chase Brown fell flat on his face. Not actually on the field, but in terms of return on investment in weeks 1, 2, 3. Took a while. Then once Chase Brown got in there, we were mother freaking cooking.
Let him cook.
The same thing happened with Bijan. We came out, rookie year, this is going to be RB1. We got laughed at, and then we fell on our face. With Bijan, we still had a great year. But with Bijan, what a turnaround. What vindication. How good does it feel to be able to say Bijan Robinson running back 1 now. How good does it feel to be on the right side of history? Little bit of delayed history, running back 9. Again, not the end of the world as a rookie, but it's so nice to be where we're at right now, where he is the unquestioned running back 1 in Dynasty and really in redraft. Gibbs is certainly right there. And Barkley, you can make a case in redraft if you believe he would be healthy. But Bijan Robinson is the prototypical elite number 1 overall player. The only reason he's not going number 1 right now across all formats is because of the best ball wide receiver craze. But this is the LT. This is the Marshall Faulk LT of our generation right now. And we're about to see the best version of Bijan we've ever seen. We've never seen him with Penix Jr. except for the last 3 games. And what did he do? 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. He had back-to-back double touchdown games. 2 rushing touchdowns in back-to-back games. 6 touchdowns in 3 games under Penix Jr.'s command. So it's crazy to me that people still doubt him when he hadn't played with a good quarterback that kept the defense honest. Kirk Cousins went 4 straight games without a passing touchdown before they benched him. And defenses weren't scared at all. Bijan Robinson now has a surgeon on the field picking apart defenses. He's a scrambling threat because he has wheels, and people are going to soon realize that. And he scored a pylon diving touchdown last year to prove he's got wheels. It's 40 times amazing. This is a good running quarterback that just protected his body in college the last 2 years to make sure he got into the pros, and you can't blame him. And his coaching staff protected him. Bijan's going to the moon. We haven't even seen Bijan scratch the surface because he's only played in trash. The comparison is Danny Dimes, New York Giants, and Saquon Barkley handcuffed. Breaks out, goes to Philly. We see Barkley the way Barkley's always meant to be, roaming and scoring and playing. Bijan Robinson in Atlanta under Arthur Smith, and then kind of handcuffed by Kirk Cousins' inept ability to move the football down the field. That last year, that was handcuffing Bijan the same way that Barkley was cuffed by the Giants' entire situation. What I'm telling you is the player we saw in the last 3 weeks that scored 2 TDs, 6 TDs in 3 games, that's the player we're going to see. And it's going to be unbelievable to watch it all unfold. All right, I got 2 phone callers real quickly, and then I got some more news I still got to get to. So make it snappy there, Johnny. Go ahead. You're live.
Smitty, I want to sponsor Let Him Cook. Can I sponsor Let Him Cook?
You could sponsor You can sponsor anything you want. Let him cook. Do it. Drop it, Johnny. Let's do it live.
You know that's my favorite. Here we go.
There it is.
Come on, man, and buy it.
Do it. Here it goes. He wants to sponsor Let It Cook. Anybody wants to sponsor? Here it is. There it is.
Let him cook.
Johnny dropping fire. By the way, BBQ, you dropped a $100 hauler. You also get to jump on another video if you want. Or, BBQ's the kind of guy you'd love to give it away. but no, BBQ, take it. You deserve it. You need it. Tell me what you want. Watch Bijan at UT. He is going to explode this year. Talent at a level you have no idea. Dude can teleport on the field. The thing is, BBQ, and everybody watching, we really haven't, just like I said, and I said this about Barkley when he went over to Philly. You got to remember, Barkley was a Mars man last year. Regardless of the worry of today's Barkley, the 430 carry Barkley from last year that concerns us this year. Barkley we were huge on Barkley last year. Barkley was a Mars man. He was going in the second round. He had no business going in the second round. He's an absolute steal. We called that. We nailed that. We told you Barkley smashed. But what we said about Barkley, that he hasn't scratched the surface and no one knows what Barkley looks like. with the lights on. Everybody assumes they know what he looks like. The club lights come on. Barkley is better than advertised in the dark. Okay? Barkley is something that we knew what he was going to be. He was going to be on a whole other level. He wasn't going to be handcuffed. He was going to absolutely rip behind one of the best offensive lines in the league. And that's what's happening with Bijan. Bijan, we haven't even seen him scratch the surface yet. It's just begun. It's just begun. Johnny, thank you for that $100 super chat. What else you got real quickly?
Oh, that's it, man. I love the show. This is such great insight. I will say that I do, every once in a while, I'll see what somebody else is talking about, and it's just like, how do you have so many followers? Some of these other guys, they're trash. That's why I spend all my time over here, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, better, Johnny. All right, Scott, you're live real quickly.
Hey, what's the deal, Smitty? It's Big Profit. I got a question.
What's up?
What 2025 rookie pick do you value Kyren at?
2025?
Oh, yeah, like this year's this year's rookie draft, like for Dynasty.
Yeah. That's a great one.
105. Yeah.
Let me. Actually,
is he over Henderson?
I have something for that. Let me find it real quickly. Hold on, bro. I got it right here. I think I do anyway. Let me find it. So, yeah, here it is. Okay, so you want to know where I hold Kyren's value? Okay, so let's put this up on the screen here. Bijan, we'll get rid of Bijan. We'll put Kyren up here. Kyren Williams. Man, this is tough because, of course, we have Genty above Kyren, no doubt about it. And that's what you're wanting me to do, right? This rookie class. Okay, so Genty is for sure higher than Kyren. Part of me really wants to say he's in the conversation of the 2, 3, 4, just because I believe he does have a couple years left. As soon as he gets his extension, then everyone's going to feel secure about him for at least 2 more years. But I do believe Hampton's just a little bit safer. I do think Harvey and Hendy are a little bit safer. I think Hunter it depends on what your team needs would be, but I would say somewhere between 4 and 6, and it would depend on your build. So I'm going to put it like right around 5. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't take one of the 3 running backs, Hendy, Harvey, Hampton, or Hunter, or all 4 of them over him. But I think that like you start having an even Steven conversation around the 4 or 5. So let's put it between 4 or 5. Doesn't mean I wouldn't take every single one of the 5 ahead of him, though. It depends on build, depends on need. But it's a really, really good question. And I would waver depending on a lot of different factors. You know, like, can you win now? Is it a lot of cash money? Are you good at receiver? You know, so like if you gave me a scenario real quickly, I could tell you.
I do have a question. I mean, it's kind of on topic. I've got the opportunity to get Josh Allen. I know you traded off Hurts. I tried to trade Hurts for Knicks. I couldn't get that done. The same guy has Josh Allen, and he said that he'll do Josh Allen for Hurts, Kyren, in my 203, or he would do Hurts in the 105. That's why I'm wondering where you value Kyren at in comparison to the rookie.
So you trade him Josh Allen?
No, he has Allen.
Okay.
I'd be acquiring Josh Allen.
Okay, so you're trading him. You're trading him Hurts and the 1 point what?
105
for Kyren.
Hurts, Kyren into 203 in a 12 team.
Yeah, I can't just throw Kyren in the mix there to get you. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, to get. I mean, I like Josh Allen, bro, but you're giving up a lot. I mean, Hurts still scores, a ton of points, and yeah, you're giving up way too much. I wouldn't give up Kyren or the 1.5 with Josh or with Hurts to get Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen, but that's not the move. That's not the move for me. No thanks.
All right.
I think
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, I think what you want to do is downgrade quote unquote hurt. And you said you tried for Nick, so I get it. But even like a Mahomes, downgrade Hurts into Mahomes and get the extra player. Move the 1.5 to the 1.1, or something like that. Give up 3 second rounders, the 1.5, and Hurts to get Mahomes in the 1.1. Like, I'm not saying the 1.1 owner owns Mahomes, but like that's how my brain works. I'm trading Hurts for Mahomes and trying to get Travis Hunter for my 2 point something, or a wide receiver that I love a lot less than Travis Hunter. That's how I'm trying to move Hurts, not to upgrade him. Just because, be as good. And what are you going to give up? Kyren or a 1.5? That's devastating. No way.
Right. I agree.
All right, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Later.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think we are. Let me clear this phone line off here, and let me go back over to the news. And we have a little bit more news to discuss. BBQ says, why isn't there a system to rank players? Scheme touches. Looking at Achane, he received 40% of all design plays. What do you think is going to happen this year? Hate him at your own risk. I think that there is definitely design plays is important, but the reason you got to look at everything from like a non-blanket statement way, because it could be design plays in a bad offense, it could be design plays in a great offense, it could be overworked, it could be, there's all kinds of ways, but it's certainly one of the reasons why when we look at Kyren as a side example and someone looks at explosives and they don't realize that he's like, here's the crazy part is, how are you going to dock Kyren for explosives or being a less explosive player data-wise, but then ignore that he's 80% of the carry usage inside the 10-yard line, and I believe like above 70 inside the I believe he got, I think he got like 70 or 80% of his touchdowns were all inside the 5-yard line. Like, but then someone's going to take that as a negative, because everybody's got a narrative they want to paint, a picture they want to paint of it a certain way. We're going to say that, oh, he didn't have explosives, but we're not going to consider that his line was injured or that there was no wide receivers because Puka was hurt, Cooper Kupp fell off, and there's nothing else going on in LAR, so they had to run the ball. And then we look at that as, oh, that's Kyren's fault. No explosives. He's not good. He averaged 5 yards per carry the year prior. No explosives. 12 touchdowns on the ground rushing in 12 games prior. 5 yards per carry prior to last year. But we're going to blame everything as 4.1 yards per carry on Kyren. And then we're going to try and take away the fact that he's 80% of the carry totals inside the 10-yard line. We're going to take away the fact that he still rushes for over 12 touchdowns every season. Oh, that can't sustain. Why can't it sustain? If that can't sustain, then neither can his 4.1, because his offensive line's healthy and Adams is in town and Puka's healthy. This is madness. It's absolute, I don't know football conversation. I don't know ball. I'm lazy take Lenny. Anyway, I digress. Sorry, I went on a total tangent there, BBQ. Point is, yeah, scheme needs to be considered. Scheme design plays. Ranking players based on it's hard because not everybody gets even remotely the same design play, setup. So hard to really kind of factor in such a rarity or random, distribution of that data. Like only so many people can play in that pool. And so it's hard. You almost have to just say, this is an outlier. My eyeballs notice this. My brain understands this. And I'm going to go ahead and say Achane's got outlier potential to live outside data in spreadsheets, just like Kyren has visible and understandable reasons to live outside data, to live outside the explosives data that everybody keeps passing around like zombies in the industry right now. Kyren's someone just watched that other show that fed them this horse crap stuff that's like, explosives. Here's explosives, Smitty. Somebody just watched that because, and I'm not even referencing any one individual show. I'm saying in general, this explosives data, somebody said it and now it's being passed around. I'm not saying there isn't data. I know there's data to support it because he went to 4.1 yards per carry last year. His explosiveness rate, his all of his measurables in that department or in and around that department and category have dipped, but there's explainable reasons, and no one's factoring in the offensive line. No Devontae Adams yet. Cooper Kupp was horrible and fell off, and Puka was injured, and this was 8-man front season. Kyren's getting fed 8-man front carries all day long, but his explosives were down. And then someone just is repeating what they hear because they walk in and go, he wasn't very explosive. Oh, did you just come up with that one? Did you just science that up yourself? His explosives. His explosives are bad. I heard about it. Thank you, BBQ. Yeah, and Achan. Anybody doubting Achan? I don't think anybody's that ridiculous to doubt Achan anymore, right? Right? Wrong. People doubt Achan all the time. And we're here for it. Puka, Paul, or Lamb, Kyren. Dynasty. Give me Lamb and Kyren. It's very debatable. I think I answered this on the Patreon, maybe. I've seen this before. I as much as I like Puka, I'm going Lamb, Kyren. I may have even switched it from what I said earlier. I don't know. But right now, the wind's blowing this way. It's so close. Really, the wind could blow me in either direction. But I'm going to say Lamb, Kyren. Because Kyren's got the 2 years left. Hall's got 2-3 years left. They're in a similar range of outcomes for amount of years forward as an elite player. And Lamb's just much better than Puka to me. And Kyren and Hall are not that different. So give me the Lamb, Kyren side all day long. Appreciate you, my boy, with the super chat. Overcome to the moon. We've got 2 more super chats. If I missed anybody else's super chats, let me know. Scotty Do and Sean, I got your 2 right here. If I missed anybody else's, please let me know. I think I'm caught up on them. Then we got some news we got to get to, and then more phone calls. I'm taking Kyren all day long. Aloha. Scotty Do, tell the Mokalua Islands I said hello. Appreciate you, my boy. Put this chat in Patreon earlier. Just got it done. Gabe St. Brown and Laporta for McBride. Evans and got half the guys fab. PPR start 3, tight end premium. So you got McBride, Evans. Yeah, I like that a lot. And I think what we said was that the fact that Evans this was a redraft, right? I think it was a redraft, which is wild that you're in a redraft right now, by the way. You drafted early. I think this was a redraft, right? I don't see Dynasty anywhere, and if I remember correctly, it was a redraft. Evans, what I said on the Patreon was in a redraft setting, I'm not worried about Evans trying to hang with St. Brown as much as I am Laporta trying to hang with McBride. Like, give me the Evans production, even if it dips a little bit all day long in redraft for that McBride upgrade. I like that a lot. Now, if it was Dynasty, it'd be a little bit different, but I don't know that we couldn't make, heads and tails of both sides of it. You know what I mean? Like, it still would be very, very close. BBQ, did BBQ drop some gifted memberships? Is that what everybody's doing? Because I don't have my alerts going here, and my iPad just stopped. Let me just see if I can update this, because it sounds to me like BBQ dropped or somebody dropped some gifted memberships. Let me go pull up the show on my iPad here. Let's see here. Or are they just doing that because of $100 hauler? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you all. Love the show. Show loves you back, Michael. Appreciate you. Hector, appreciate you. Vader, appreciate you. Everybody dropping, was it 50 gifted memberships? Hold on. Let me pull it up. I can't seem to get my... Let me see if I can find it real quickly. BBQ, 50 gifted memberships. 50 gifted memberships. I'm sorry I missed that, BBQ.
Smitty, everybody's pretty. $100+ I don't even know why they're getting ditty.
Where's Denny? Where in the hell is Denny? Does anybody have a clue where Denny is? Oh, Denny! I don't think anybody knows where Denny is. I'm starting to get a little worried about him. BBQ with the $50 or $50. It's $100 plus dollar hauler. But with the gifted memberships, hey, BBQ, did you say which video you wanted to sponsor with your previous $100 super chat? Because you get to be thrown on a video. It doesn't have to be, it can be a transition, like your Bijan card has been revoked. It can be got him. It could be anything. Just let me know. Anything but, like, you know, any of the transitions or videos. BBQ is just a monster, bro. All right, real quickly, let me get through the rest of this news. So we got Kyren Williams. We've got Bijan Robinson. We have also the Wirfs injury. We'll talk about that real quickly. We already covered this on the previous show, but Wirfs is going to have knee surgery. He's going to take him out potentially 1 to 4 weeks during the regular season. And that's definitely a hit to Bucky and a hit to this offensive line and to Baker. But how big of a hit? Not that big. Not something that we're concerned about. And so we did a video on this. Not worried in the slightest in terms of like drafting him or valuing him. Is it a hit? Sure. Could he have a better time without Wirfs in there? Probably not. Could he score more points or have more yards per carry? Probably not. But will it be such a hit that it even matters? Will he have rushed for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground in 4 weeks? Bucky's that good. And will that go to now without Wirfs for maybe 1 to 4 weeks? It could just be 1 week. But let's say worst case scenario, it's 4 weeks. Might he have 350 and 3? Might we miss a touchdown and 50 yards, 11 points, 12 points, something like that? It's possible. I want the Bijan card. Okay, thank you, BBQ. BBQ to the moon. So, you know, the thing is, this presents opportunity. If Bucky drops to the 2-3 or the 2-3 turn, so 3.1 or 2.11 or 2.12, and he gets cemented in there, it packages in way more risk than we need to package in. It makes it even more league winning. Right now, Bucky at 15 overall, 17 overall, 18 overall is league winning. He deserves to be in round 1. We'll never pay for that because we don't need to. This is going to assure that. This right here, I was worried. Remember, I did a live stream a little while ago and I said that I have a feeling Bucky's going to climb higher and higher to the very top, the tippy top of round number 2, just off of some camp buzz or a coaching speak. And Bucky's going to lead the league in rushing touchdowns, and boom, Bucky goes to 2.1. Well, this is kind of a safeguard mechanism for us. This kind of holds him right in that second half of the second round, almost no matter what. Because losing Wirfs for even 4 games is going to scare Scotty. Petrified Peters will be everywhere. There's already enough doubters out there that are dormant right now. They're like Homer Simpson in the bushes, and they're going to come forward, and it's going to sound like a lot of people chirping, but it really is the haters that have been hiding like cockroaches in the shadows, and now they're going to come out, and there's going to be 5 or 6 per 100 that are going to be really loud and make it seem like it's 50-50. Oh, the community's 50-50 on Bucky. We'll do a poll. The poll will show that only 5 out of maybe every 100 people, couple hundred people maybe, 5 out of every couple hundred people doubt Bucky and think Bucky will bust. But they're loud. Why are they loud? Because they put receipts out there. They put themselves in an embarrassing situation. I talk trash about Bucky. Now I'm going to continue to talk trash about Bucky. Bucky will be fine. And there's still a chance that he only misses 1 game. What's going to happen is Wirfs will go on the PUP, and the Bucs will have to make a decision whether they want to take him off right before week 1 at the end of camp. If they take him off the PUP, then they have to hold him on the active roster. That gives them less flexibility in weeks 1, 2, 3. If he misses week 1, 2, 3, because they have to have him on the active roster, they don't get an extra body. But if they believe he's definitely going to be out the 3 weeks and probably going to miss the 4th week anyway, then they'll keep him on the PUP, bring in another body, whether it's a lineman or another position. But it gives them more opportunity to have another player on roster. So we got to watch that. If they take him off the PUP before camp ends or right before the season, then we know that he could be back in week 2, week 3, week 4. We don't know. But that'll be a big moment when we find out that information. But I'm not concerned. and it doesn't affect me at all drafting him. Am I mad that it happened? Is it better to have Wirfs in there? Absolutely. But people are acting like Bucky got hurt. People are acting like Bucky's missing 1 to 4 weeks. Retool your brain. Retool the way you think. Bucky's not out 1 to 4 weeks. Stop trying to bump his value down as if he's missing 1 to 4 weeks. It's not even him. It's his left tackle. Look, his left tackle is the best in the game. Doesn't mean they're going to play without one. They'll have one that's not as good. No doubt about it. But it's not like they're down a lineman. They're just replacing him for 1 to 4 weeks. It is not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. Marvin Mims, Parker Gabriel of the Denver Post mentions that Marvin Mims has the potential, is the potential number 2 receiver option behind Courtland Sutton. Look, he had a good year last year. Didn't he have like 6 touchdowns? Ziggy, how many touchdowns did Marvin Mims Jr. score in 2024?
In the 2024 season, Marvin Mims Jr. had 6 total touchdowns.
Ziggy, how many yards did he have?
In his NFL career, Marvin Mims Jr. has rushed for 72 yards.
Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Off. Kruger, how many receiving yards did Marvin Mims Jr. have in Denver in 2024?
In 2024, Marvin Mims Jr. had 503 receiving yards with the Broncos, along with 6 touchdowns.
How many receptions did he have?
He had 39 receptions in 2024.
It's kind of like a remarkable season for him. And I don't know, a lot of it was short, dialed up stuff, but I mean, he's a crafty little guy. And while Sean Payton loves everybody at some point, talks up this guy, talks up that guy, talks up Estimate, talks up RJ Harvey, now everybody thinks JK's his boy. He does do a lot of that rambling. But Mims has the talent, and Nix is the kind of quarterback that can kind of make him as Rashee Rice in a way. Not Rashee Rice levels, but just turn him into, he's a short yardage guy, and he's already did it. He did it last year. But this is kind of a sleeper. You could even say like grabbing a handful, Bryant and Mims, not a bad idea. And he's available in a lot of leagues, but kind of potentially being kicked around as the number 2. I think Pat Bryant could take the job from him, but if he doesn't, this is a good receiver. I kind of like him. But what are you saying, bro? Check the news. If they're dating officially, it'll be all over the news. I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. What's Brian talking about? All right. Dial into the show. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, I mean, really, the number 1 wide receiver, Evan Engram, on that roster, and he is a receiver. He plays tight end, but he's a receiver. Evan Engram is not a tight end. Somehow they categorize him as a tight end. Somehow he plays tight end, but he's not a tight end. He's a wide receiver. He's a slot wide receiver, and Evan Engram is going to probably be the number. I don't know. I mean, Sutton could be the number 1, but Evan Engram could be the number 1 pass catcher on the roster. But Mims is an attractive piece this year. $10 hauler from Prophet says, thanks for the advice, bro, and thanks for always accepting my calls. You bet, Big Prophet. Thank you for the $10 hauler. That gets you a Mars shot, young man.
2 Mars.
Dial in. Hit me with it. Phone line's open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Uh, 775 caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Jaden. I'm calling from Nevada. I just wanted to ask you a question, bro. I really tap in every time to the live streams. You have some good news, and I've been drafting like Derrick Henry, kind of Ashton Genty first round, and then I go back second round, and I'm stuck up between Devon Achane and Bucky. Like picking Bucky more frequently because I think the offense is better there. But I know you said this before, but what's your take on that again?
I love rotating it, bro, because they're both amazing. And in some drafts that and we talked about this, Rockout one time called in. You know who Rockout is, right? He called in and he said, no, it's Bruce. I'm sorry, it's Bruce. My bad, Rockout. It's Bruce. And he said, what if we take Achane, because I was yelling at everybody who was reaching. What if we take Achane and Bucky at the 1-2 turn at number 12 and number 13? And I was like, I put my finger on the hang up button and I was going to hang up on him. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I like it. And I didn't.
Yeah, it is risky, man. It is, but it's
not
like
really
upside crazy.
Not really that risky, though. It's solid. It's a solid move. But my point being that they're both neck and neck. I love both of them. I could take both of them as their first and second drafted players. And Genty's great, too. But if I had to rotate between these three running backs and I had 3 leagues side by side, I would take Genty in one, Achane in one, and Bucky in the other. I would not want to not have one of them. That's how good they all are. If I had to rank them all, assuming it's full PPR, it's full PPR, I would say I lean toward Achane, but Genty's got higher ADP, so you have to almost draft Genty. And so you're playing a mix of, hold on, let me merge this call. You're playing a mix of all those worlds. You have to mix in and understand that, the ADP game can allow you to get 2 of them if you're careful, whereas you might only get 1 of them if you're not careful. So, Genty has 8, 9, 7 ADP. He's worth it. He'll score that. If Achane was going there, I'd also be dipping in on the Achane value there. And then if Bucky was going, let's say Bucky climbed, let me merge this call too. Sorry, I had to merge that call. Let me say this. If Bucky climbed to the same ADP as Achane, I would still be drafting him. I just don't want anyone to use that information as a license to go, I won't get him though, so let me just take him now. You just got to take Bucky where you can get him in some leagues and grab other players in other leagues. Don't try and grab Bucky in every single league. He's not a first rounder. He is not a first rounder. You draft Bucky in the first round, you're taking a massive lap. Sure. But if he ever did climb, he is worth it. So that's why he's such a league winner, because Bucky lives now. After today's news of Wirfs missing 1 to 4 games, Bucky's ADP, I can't imagine. His ADP pre today was probably, if I had to guess, over across the entire industry, not just best ball, underdog, but also everything. Ziggy off. I'd probably say like Bucky's ADP is probably.
Get that. The internet isn't reachable.
Unbelievable. Hold on a second. I'm one of these days I'm gonna smash Ziggy with a bat, and we're gonna destroy him on the show. Okay,
you gotta get one of those torpedo bets.
ADP for Bucky, I'm gonna guess overall is, we'll call it 17 overall pre. That's his ADP. I'd say 17 overall pre today.
That's why I've been picking them up.
Yeah, overall across all platforms. Now today, I think his ADP, and it hasn't adjusted yet. We won't know for days, but I'm gonna guess that he dropped to 20 to 24. Maybe even 20 to 25. So, I think people will react. Now that's not a crazy drop, but it's enough.
Makes sense, but it's like enough for us to get, And that's what I was like thinking, man, because I go like, I'm a running back heavy guy. Like I'm only 30 years into fantasy, and I find myself, drafting wide receivers my first couple years, and was like, that's such a depth right there. And like, I was like, I need to get my running backs early. And I'm finding myself get 3 running backs in a row. And I don't know, like, what do you take on that? Do you think that's risky, or do you think that's like a good take?
I think you need to take the best player available. I think that if you believe,
that's how I think, because I'll have like a Chuba Hubbard right there, and then it's like Terry McLaurin, right?
I know, but you got to
Terry McLaurin or Chuba Hubbard.
You got to also factor in though that if you believe best player available, all things being equal, and I can almost argue almost every time I'm on the clock, I'd say 90 to 95% of the time I could argue a wide receiver or running back, because all things will be kind of equal. You can definitely almost force something like that, in my opinion. And so you go running back. You got to know your league. If you can't get an MHJ or at least a Hunter, DK, and Debo as your trio wide receiver crew, which you could maybe get, then you got to be careful, because you will not have good enough wide receivers. And to be honest, like Chuba Hubbard, I like Chuba Hubbard, but I'm not passing on a Harrison or a Garrett Wilson or someone like that over Chuba Hubbard personally, especially if you've already got two running backs. So you got to keep all those things in mind, and they all kind of make up best player available. There's a lot that goes into best player available. A lot of people, novice, will hear me say that, and they're like, "Oh, he means just take the highest ranked guy on the board." No, that's computer,
like the top
auto
guy.
drafted.
Yeah.
No, best player available keeps into account what your build is so far, how your league drafts. Best player available in my buddy league is running back in round 1, almost guaranteed. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Because of the way they draft. Best player available always is running back pretty much in one of my leagues, no matter what. It's just because they're going to fly off the board. And then when I get into round 2, I've got wide receivers that have no business being there at 18 because of the way they draft.
Right. Exactly. So just know your draft. Yeah. So just think about like the next round. Just think ahead.
Yep. All right, bro. Later. Call back if you got another one.
Going, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Let's see here. 925. What's your name and where are you calling from? You're live.
How's it going, Smitty? It's Crizzy from LA.
What up, Crizzy?
Going on, man? I just had a quick question for you. So I know, like in Superflex leagues, you like to like go either like Bo Nix or Patrick Mahomes, and then you like to get Cam Ward. What about like your thoughts on like grabbing like someone like Purdy, who's like got one of the easiest strengths of schedules, and they're like a pretty proven team. They're like line at Vegas, like 10.5 wins.
Are they a proven team?
What are kind of your thoughts on him?
Are they a proven team though? They're completely new. It's like a completely gutted team. I don't know that they're proven.
They do have a pretty gutted team, but still having Kittle and CMC, even though he's probably not going to stay healthy for the majority of the season. But say he does go down, they're going to lead like more on him to kind of do.
I don't mind.
Improve a lot more and use Kittle. Like, don't you think he could have some sort of value in how late he's kind of going and being disrespected?
I think he could. It depends on where he's going. I'd rather have Ward over Purdy, to be honest. But I do like Purdy in a super flex format as my second quarterback. If I get past Penix Jr., I'd rather have Fields over Purdy. I'd rather have Ward over Purdy. But Purdy's not awful. He's pretty solid right after those guys. But Ward to me is potentially going to be special. So I want Ward all day long. But there's nothing wrong with taking Brock Purdy as your second quarterback, especially if you get him at a value. If you're getting him in the third, fourth round, that's not good value. Third round.
Yeah.
Maybe fourth round,
fair.
I guess, in Superflex, it's not bad.
Okay. All right, for sure. I appreciate you, Smitty.
Bro, Ward, where's Ward going if you look at your projection or your ADP data on that platform? Is it round 5?
I think it is, yeah. Probably around round 5 in Superflex, yeah.
And
He's
where's
definitely going behind Purdy. So.
Yeah, and Purdy's going in what, like 4, or is it on your format?
Around 4, yeah. I think like early 4th.
I mean, bro, everybody should be like a round later in a general rule of thumb. So you think about like Kyren's in round 3, that means he's in round 4. Hunter's in round 5, that means he's in round 6. And then it starts to level out around 5 or 6 to where that kind of evens back out. But I would say, like, you look at Garrett Wilson in round 3, he's now in round 4. So give me Garrett Wilson and Ward over Purdy, and then the wide receiver that you're now going to get because you went Purdy.
Like a DK or something like that.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Or Penix Jr. or Fields. Fields could be a top 6 quarterback. I mean, he runs, he scrambles, he's amazing. All right, later, bro.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Always trust your gut. I mean, Purdy could have a top 7-8 quarterback season. It's always possible, but I personally don't love the fact that Kittle is an aggressive potential injury risk every year he plays. He's even said that himself. So I don't want to hear it. He says, the way I play, I'm not going to play long in this league, is what he said out of his own mouth. So he's always going to hold a little more injury risk. And at his age, you got to think about that. And then you talk about a easy schedule. Who knows what the schedule is going to really look like, because teams draft players, they improve. Let's be honest, how much of the Cardinals are expected to be a pushover? They play them twice, like the Rams, they play twice. It's not as easy of a cakewalk as people think. People are looking at the Falcons, matchup as if it's like not going to be. Don't look at a lot of this easy schedule stuff is based on last year's record. That's not a smart way to look at why people repeat that like a parrot. I'm not talking about the caller. I don't mean to sound that way toward him. But when people are like, yeah, they have the second easiest or the second or first easiest schedule, based on what? I don't know. Based on what they say. Well, do you know that they are talking about wins and loss records? Okay. I mean, things change from year to year, not to mention that it doesn't necessarily spell out production. All right, Travis, you're live.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I mean, like you said with Purdy, that possibility is there. Because I know he was a top 10 QB one season, I think. But like, if I look at the list of QBs real quick, there's 15 to 18 QBs I'd rather take a chance on just because of the ceiling. I get Purdy's probably fairly safe if you want to pencil in a range of stats, but I'd rather take this swing on guys. I could easily name 15, maybe more.
Let's just spitball it real quickly. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I'm going to go down the list.
Let's just do 12. No, I'll pull them on screen. So, JD5.
Yep.
Let me merge Bruce in. Hold on. Bruce, hang tight real quickly, Brucey. All right. Number 1, JD5. You can have them in any order you want. It's fine. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Josh Allen, 2. Let's call it. I'll probably put Lamar 3 just so I don't hear a bunch of people yapping. But clearly Joe Burrow could be. Or here's Hurts. Hurts will put 5 or 6 or whatever. Lamar, let's just put him 3. So you got Lamar there. Lamar, come on, calm down, Lamar. Take up the whole screen. We got Joseph Cigar smoking Burrow. We can put him at 4. This is not my ranking necessarily. We're kind of going off of like ADP in a way. So everybody relax. I don't want to hear people say, what about your boy? So, Mahomes, his ADP is about QB7, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Knicks is right up there. I don't know if this is exact ADP, but I'm just throwing him there around ADP. So we got
Knicks and Baker would be next.
Yeah, Baker. Next up would be what, Kyler? Or would it be Kyler?
Oh, yeah, Kyler and Goff are next. I don't know if I would have Goff up there.
We'll leave Goff off of this list. All right, Kyler, and then Dak is kind of Stafford. Like, okay, so we could almost stop here and just say, could Purdy be QB 10? It's possible. But Dak Fields.
I take Herbert over him.
Yeah, Dak Fields, Penix Jr.
Yep.
Stafford, Stroud.
And Ward.
You throw Goff in there, then it's Ward, and then someone think T-Law. There's just when someone's like, you don't think you'll be a top 10 quarterback. whenever anybody says that about somebody that we haven't put on the board yet, like, you don't think you could be a top 10 quarterback? There's literally 10 guys that could be number 10. 10 guys could be number 10. It's not an easy thing. The only thing I'll say is, who do I think is the most surprising handful of guys that could be 10 that people will ignore and neglect? I think it's Cam. I think it's Penix. And I think Drake May's in the mix. I think...
Yep.
Smitty, can I put a surprise one in there for you? What about Shador if they give him the starting job?
It's very Brucey of you to say. I don't know that. I think he could certainly be in the 11 to 12 to 15 to, inside that like 12 to 20 conversation. But I pumped the brakes a little bit on putting him inside the top 10 his rookie year. He's got a lot to learn still. Love the kid. Love how he's going to progress, but I don't know that I'd put him anywhere. I think Cam's going to be in a much better situation, but I don't think he gets the job right away. I don't think they want him to. I think there's almost a 0% chance that Shador starts week 1, bro. They're not even like anointing him made the a part of the team yet. They're like, he's got to fight with Gabriel for a roster spot. Like, I know a lot can happen between now and kickoff, but it sounds to me like the Browns want to use this as their lifeline, not make a decision, fail, and then have to move around it. They want to fail into Shador, not fail with Shador, which makes some sense, to be honest. But at the same time, I just hope they are so dumb they cut him. But I'd say Penix Jr., Fields. These would be my. I think May is almost in this mix. Just Travis would like to hear that. Bryce Young.
I think he's got a chance.
Mix. But these would be the three that I would identify as the most likely. Herbert could be in there if they threw the ball.
T-Law.
Herbs could be in here. T-Law, yeah. T-Law could be in there. T-Law. I'd say in this order, Cam, Penix, or no, Field. I don't know if Fields is one. But Cam, Penix, Fields, these are the three that I love the most. And then Herbs, T-Law, and May are kind of like, they can make a statement and they could climb into this group here. But Cam, Penix, Fields are my dark horse top 10 QB, potential guys. So where's Purdy?
I have
12, 15.
I have a question. Yeah, I have a question. Would you take Tua or Purdy?
In best ball, Tua. If I've got a decent backup, I'd take Tua in non-best ball. But if I didn't, Purdy could be more secure. But I'd rather have Tua. I mean, Tua's got more of a capability of throwing for 400 yards and 3 TDs. I'm not saying he's the best thing ever. Yeah. He's certainly a risk, but
health is his problem, which obviously is a big thing. But he puts up numbers.
This question.
One more, JJ McCarthy. With what he's got in Minnesota.
I mean, he could get into the conversation, but he's got to get into it before I could even consider him. This one's a little wild to me. I understand where you're coming from, but like, I would love to know what the rationale is behind why you don't understand so much that you think it's disrespect and not that. I get it. The fact that you think it's disrespect and not just he's got a lot to prove, but the disrespect on Gino should be studied. What am I doing here that is disrespectful to Gino Smith? Like, you want
the definition of an average QB.
I mean, you want to throw him like right underneath all these guys and say like he should be talked about next. I'm okay with that, but are you literally walking into my live stream and saying that you believe Gino Smith is deserving to be in near Kyler and Baker or right above Cam, Penix, and Fields? Like, I'm just curious what's going through your mind, because I think your comment needs to be studied. I think your rationalization of what we believe to be disrespectfully, your disrespect is disrespecting our disrespect. and you probably should be studied. You should probably be studied.
That's my first question.
I know. How many Raiders jerseys do you own? Is the question. You got to be kidding me. What a wild comment, bro. No offense, Kels, but you're oblivious. I love you, pal. Appreciate you, but you don't even know what up and down is. If you really believe we're disrespecting Gino Smith, you don't know left from right. You're just obliviously walking through this world going, Gino's top 10. All right.
You got to understand there's a difference between fantasy and just playing NFL.
I don't think he's even paying attention to that. I don't think he even realizes there's two layers to it. I think he just thinks this is it. I'm obliviously going through life this direction. Fantasy, non-fantasy, I don't know that there is even two worlds. I live in one. I live in this world. This is the only Spider-Verse. This is the Spider-Verse. Let me read the super chat. Bijan and Garrett Wilson or Achane and Neighbors? Bijan and Garrett Wilson or Achane and Neighbors? The crazy part is Bijan's number 1 overall. Garrett Wilson's in a dynasty 2-3 turn easily in a dynasty. He climbs up in dynasty. He's in the 3rd round in redraft. He climbs up to that 2-3 turn in dynasty, in my opinion. So you got a 1 and let's say a 24. Lowest score wins. Let's just say loosely based strategy here. So 1 plus 24 is 25. Achane is in dynasty. We'll call it 12. Neighbors, what do you think, guys? Neighbors 6.
Yeah, he's up there.
6 overall, so 12, 18. So 18 to 24, lowest score wins. I don't know. I mean, it's a real scientific way to do it, but you could argue that, right? But man, what I think about why I'm going to maybe tell you a different answer, I'm going to say Bijan's side. The reason I'm going to say Bijan's side is because I believe Garrett Wilson's 24 overall ADP, he can way outperform that. I think he could play as well as any wide receiver getting drafted up and down the 2nd round. So ultimately, maybe he'll be higher than that. Or at least it's so close. The margin of error between Garrett Wilson and BTJ is going to be so minute that you're going to want the Bijan value. But it's a great comparison. You could easily argue both sides. The only thing I'd say about Achane is, as much as we love him, does he have 5 years left? I know that's a really tough.
I was going to say
a bit
nitpicking, injury risk and QB and those type of things.
I think Bijan can be number 1 for 5, 6, 7 years. I think Achane can be number 1 for 3-4 years, or not number 1, but be where he is for 3-4 years. And then he doesn't have that. And this is not a knock on him. I love Achane. He's a top 12 to 15 dynasty player because 3 or 4 years is a long time. But Bijan has almost wide receiver longevity. So tough to say. I mean, 3 to 4 years. You give Achane 3 to 4 more years. That's a long time. 4 more years, like 20. Could he be a guy that drops off a little bit in terms of like how much he's getting volume wise for his team? Will he, where will he be? Bijan's offense is improving. Achane's offense is going to probably diminish over the years. The odds of the Dolphins' offense getting better year over year is almost astronomically bad comparatively to the odds that the Falcons at least stay amazing as they are now or get improved. So you got to factor all those things in. Neighbors lives in a bad environment now. Could it improve? Sure. Garrett Wilson, I mean, you can say what you want about the Jets, but I think their situation is going to be pretty good for a while. Hard to say. Bruce, what can I do for you, Bruce?
Hey, Smitty, it's a weird Weird question, but which situation would you rather have in this scenario? Garrett Wilson, I'd be giving up Garrett Wilson and 2 first-round picks for Neighbors and Bucky.
Garrett Wilson and 2 first-round picks for Neighbors and Bucky?
Yeah.
Give me Neighbors and Bucky.
Okay.
Garrett Wilson. And where are those picks at if you had to guess?
If I had to guess, they're towards the back.
Okay, even if one of them could be like middle, or both of them were middle. One could be even top 5. I think I'd take Bucky and Neighbors all day.
I got a little bit like, I did watch your video, but I still got like a little bit like, okay, wait, this is on the board, but I kind of got scared about making that trade for Bucky, so I might have to take a lap for that. But it was just because of the unknown at that point.
This guy, John, this is the guy from yesterday, right? The guy that, man, I need to give you a free. I need to give you a free membership, Jonathan, to the fantasy. I think you need some different advice in your life. Dolphins offense over the Falcons, laughing my bro. Do you even realize what you're saying right now? You want to argue that the talent on the Dolphins, if all things go right, could be equal to the Falcons? I could get behind that temporary statement that probably lives temporarily for as long as you hope it could endure. You know, like that makes sense. You know what I mean? If someone came in and said, I believe that the Dolphins could be as good as the Falcons offensively, production-wise, for as long as they can hold it together with the glue. And you're like, oh, okay, I understand what you're saying there. Bro, the fact that you used not only 3 open alligator symbols, but put a LMAO at the end makes me think you have no clue what's going on at all. Like, if you would have just put like one open alligator and left it and no LMAO, I would have been like, it's cute. But like, this makes me realize you really don't know. You really don't know, bro. And I don't even know how to argue against this. This is like when a little kid comes up to you and says, you know, the Earth's bigger than the sun. Look. You're like, no, but the Earth's small because it's far away. Nope. The Earth's bigger than the sun. The moon's bigger than the Earth than the sun. Like, how do I argue? You're not listening, Jonathan. So it's fine. Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan.
He'll find out this year when their new tight end who
Jonathan.
He's gonna quit.
Appreciate you, Jonathan. Everybody just wave at him. Hey, Jonathan, everybody in the chat, poll real quickly. Falcons, Dolphins, write it in the chat. Let's let Jonathan see a little bit of reality. Just to see what it does for him. Because he
Falcons.
Put Falcons or Dolphins in the chat. Let me get Rock Out in here. Hold on. All right, Rock Out, hang tight real quickly. Bruce, anything else, bro? What else you got?
How do you think? I had that new Superflex league. I just drew it to 1.3 because we always do the card thing. You know, whatever card you got, that's where you draft. Do you think Burrow will be there at 3? I don't know why. I'm enamored with having a Joe Burrow in at least one league.
I mean, I don't know, Bruce. Probably in a Superflex startup 1.3 is probably going to go JD5, Josh Allen, JD5, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, someone could take Lamar over Burrow as well, so I bet it'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't know, like, if I was, like, if, let's just say JD5 was there, with my enamoration of having Burrow in at least one league, would I be making a mistake if I just said, "Oh, I don't care, JD5 share, I'm taking Burrow because I want him."
Yeah. Okay, we got all the votes in. So, while there were some Dolphin votes, now, of the Dolphins voters, who believes that you can put 3 open alligators and an LMAO on the screen? So now, I would like all the Dolphin voters to revote and put a thumbs up or a thumbs down over Jonathan's emphasis on his question or statement. It's okay, Jonathan. It's okay. Bro put 3 open alligators and an LMAFO TBCD, whatever. Oh my God. All right. Bruce, what was your last question, Bruce? I forget. I'm sorry.
Like the last one I had was if I did have the 1.3, and let's say Jaden Daniels was there or Josh Allen was there, I just no, I have to have Burrow in one league. Would that be a bad decision?
Bruce, do you know this about yourself? You are a very much, I want to reinvent the wheel, and I'd rather lose inventing something. Like, I want to discover aliens or never come back. Like, you are that guy. You always want to reinvent the wheel, and you're willing to completely sacrifice trying. You're the guy that would have got in Doc's DeLorean the first time on the first test run. I'm not saying Burrow's not a great choice in an amazing 1.3, and I'm not even saying that he can't be the number 1 quarterback, but I think you got to take the runner, bro. I think you got to take the player that is just starting out, hasn't had a long, lengthy injury history like Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow. He's a great 3 or 4 overall pick in a Dynasty startup, but you can't pass on JD5. He's just getting started, bro, especially if it's a Dynasty startup. You're talking about a guy that arguably in a couple years could be worth so much more than every other quarterback. He's just getting going. Now, if you wanted safety, security with the rushing upside, Allen's still great. But this is your one. Burrow's amazing. Love him, but this is your 1 and 2, bro. The rushing upside is there, and they both can throw arguably as much if they want to as Joe Burrow. They don't always have to. They won't always, have the same numbers, but the difference between JD5 Allen and like a Hurts, for example, Hurts can barely throw for 18 touchdowns. Hurts can barely have 3,000 yards. Allen could throw for 4,000. JD5 could throw for 4,500 yards. JD5 could throw for 38 touchdowns. Josh Allen could throw for 40 touchdowns. So these guys have that rushing upside. It's amazing. Don't pass on them.
Okay. Yeah, well, the Dolphin guy.
Jared Scott just hung up. Scott, call back. I was going to Scott
find
next.
out when, his tight end quits on him. That's why he left for the rap game. His teammates said he didn't want to play no more.
Scott, call back. Scott just hung up. All right, later, Bruce. Appreciate you, bro. I'll be back tonight. Man. Overcome says Beach. Oh, I already did that one. Thank you, Overcome. Appreciate that super chat. Healing says best ball rank Tootin, Garendo, Spears, Mooney, or Igbuka. Igbuka all day. I love both of them. I'm not ripping on Mooney at all. Just give me Igbuka. And then Tootin, Garendo, Spears. Give me Garendo. Give me Spears if like you need somebody for sure to produce, because he will. And then if you want more of a home run league winner and you don't need this player to contribute weekly, and what I mean by that is if you've got a roster that's like, I got all rookies, I don't even know who's starting yet, Spears would be safe for you. But if you're looking for home run, Garendo, Tootin, then Spears in that order. So it kind of just depends on what you need. Definitely capable of reordering that or ranking it based on team build. Marv and a late 27 first for BTJ. Look, I'm okay doing this. I mean, Marv is a third rounder right now. I believe he climbs to the 2-3 turn in the dynasty value. whereas BTJ lives at the 11, 12, 13 in redraft, and he lives there at Dynasty. Late first rounder might need to climb one whole round like that. You might need to pay that. I'm okay with that, but I'm also okay with either side. I would say it depends on what you need, depends on if you can win now. Marv's got a little bit more risk, but then again, like BTJ's got Hunter in town now. Who knows how that completely messes with the evolution of BTJ and his workload. And I do believe that Hunter and BTJ, neither one's going to hurt the other. They're just going to be rotationally amazing. And they're both going to be as
like right
to each other. I really think Hunter's going to be that good, but it doesn't really take away BTJ. So this just depends on Marv. If you love Marv and believe in Marv, and I do, but I could understand not wanting to get rid of BTJ for this if I believe it's a late first rounder. If it's a mid to early, then I think I take the chance on Marv in the mid pick. But if this is a late first rounder, I don't know. I think maybe BTJ's safer. What are you going to say, Travis?
Yeah, I mean, BTJ is a safe side, but, this time next year you could be looking at it and saying, Marv side runs away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I, I even waver looking at it. I really do love Marv that much, but this is something to where you're paying for the security that you have seen get produced from BTJ and you have not yet from Marv. So it makes sense. What I'm trying to conclude is that this makes sense on both sides. If you love Marv, then trust Marv and do it live. But if you doubt him, you're worried about him, you love BTJ, you don't doubt BTJ, even if you like Hunter, you still don't doubt BTJ, go with BTJ. I think either way is completely Smitty approved. This is one of those even Steven trades. This one here from Max, Bijan, Gibbs, Knicks, AJ Brown, need 2. Thanks. Superflex. Need 2, so you're keeping 2? Well, man, this is tough because I'm drafting Gibbs and Bijan ahead of Bo Nix in Superflex, I think. Even though I am drafting Bo Nix ahead of guys like Bucky and probably BTJ. But you're talking about, I'm keeping Bijan and Gibbs. And I'm trying to redraft Nix with like a Fields or Nix with a Penix Jr. That's what I'm doing. Easy call. You can't just keep a position. Nix is not, I love Nix, but Nix is not ranked higher than Gibbs or Bijan for me in a Superflex. You got to keep the better player. You can't look at just the quarterback position. So throw everybody else back and smash it, bro. Gibbs and Nix Superflex. Nah, I know it's Superflex, bro, but those 2 running backs, just make sure you're grabbing QB. Fields and Dak and Penix. Fields and Penix. Fields and Cam. Cam Ward's your key. Cam Ward is your key, bro. Go get Cam Ward and grab one of Dak. Hopefully Nix first. Nix, Dak, Penix Jr. But really, you can't screw this up. You have to get Cam Ward with one of those guys. But you can do it. I would take the gamble all day long, bro. You smash Cam and Dak or Cam and especially Bo Nix, this is game over. All right, Travis, any final thoughts? We'll be back at midnight Eastern.
No, I'm good. I'll talk to you later tonight. Thanks, buddy.
All right, appreciate you, bro. See you tonight. All right, guys, I'll be back. I'm live whenever big news breaks. We'll be live on Underdog. Promo code Smitty. Let me drop that link one more time. Sign up now so you're not trying to scramble to get into the draft tonight. There's the link. Smash the link. Smitty gets it done as well. The link's in the description of every video as well. And Patreon. Make sure you get on over to the Patreon. It's right here. If I can get it to paste. There it is. Do it live. Well, let me see if I can get that sucker to paste. I don't know why I'm not able to get it to paste. Oh, well. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Patreon, the link's in the description of the video. I'm going to go over to the Patreon right now. The Patreon is 24/7, 365 live chat group. And I'm going to go in there right now and say, what is up? What is up, everyone? Scared Scott's in the Patreon. He just joined. Any post 8 p.m. Eastern topics. And let me just welcome Scared Scott. Welcome, Scott. I see him messaging right there. Cody's in the building. Cody, appreciate you. Guys, get on over to the Patreon right now. $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Let me see if I can drop the damn link. There it is. All right, here's the link. I'm going to pin it right now in the live chat. Hit it on the way out the door, guys. This is the best place, in my opinion, to get 365, 24/7 advice from the best community around. Patreon.com/fantasyfootballshow. Link in description of every video. If you need to find it later and you think, what was that link? It's in the description of every video. You can go back to any video, hit the description. You'll see the link. It's also on my website, thefantasyfootballshow.com. You'll see a Patreon icon. So subscribe to the Patreon, $10 a month, 24/7 live chat group. It's amazing. See you all at midnight Eastern, because I go live at midnight Eastern almost every single night to draft or have good conversation. I'll be live tomorrow, as I am every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's what this show is right here, the 8 p.m. show. And then I'm additionally live, like I was earlier today on Bucky News. I'm live whenever news breaks. See you all tonight at midnight Eastern.
Hello.
He's Kyren.
Oh.
He's 7 feet tall.
We got someone on the phone line. I didn't even know. Rock out. Rock out. Real quickly, rock out, because I'm going out the door. I'm sorry, bro. What can I do for you?
Yeah, what do you make of these confusing backfields like the Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City?
They're all different. There's no way to sum this up with one statement. I mean, Jacksonville, I'm liking ETN more and more every day, at least for week one, and then we'll see what he does. I think, Bashal Tutin's kind of dropped the ball on taking advantage of the opportunity, but doesn't mean he can't, corral it back. I think Bigsby's really exciting. It's kind of a tough spot. It's a tough backfield to own, because you almost have to own all three. In some scenarios, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, I don't love Arthur Smith. I mean, he's horrible for running back rooms. Everyone keeps saying he's not great for running back rooms. He's not.
No.
And he's been a part of good rushing attacks, but he's not responsible for good rushing attacks. He's a part of them. He's been a part of them, but he's not. And Caleb, Caleb is a guy that he's going to have to compete with a very determined Jaylen Warren, who was anointed the starter before the NFL draft. So I'm just not in love with that value. And then the other one was what?
Pacey.
I love Pacheco, Brashard Smith cuffed. That feels safe. And it's so late in a draft. It's an amazing running back, too, if you go hero RB.
Where would you take Pacheco?
I think he's going like an 8. 7 sometimes, but if you can get him in 7, 8, it's pretty good. Hopefully 8. Top of 8, maybe. And then grab Brashard Smith in like the 14th round or 15th. I mean, he can go like an 18, but it just depends on the ADP. All right. Good.
All right, that's about it.
All right, rock out. Appreciate you, bro. Call him tonight. Later. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Again, live whenever big news breaks. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's what this show is right here. And live tonight at midnight, as I am almost every single midnight Eastern. See you all tonight.